We're back. Drake here.
Gypsy.
Two hoodies. Two hoodies.
3 cats.
They're everywhere.
They're all over the place.
Okay, so we've been hitting feels. Lots of feels with Tom and Nova.
Mm-hmm.
If you're tuning in, then you already know what the song is. You already know it's Tom and it's Whiteboy. I haven't told her anything about this track. She's going to figure it out. All I can tell you is that I will tell you this is the track. This is the track that has all the racial hate, every ounce of it, every last bit of it. Everyone that calls him a racist, it all comes from this track right here.
Fair enough.
You ready?
Probably not, but let's go.
I will tell you that in this is one of the. This was the second track I heard. People So Stupid.
I'm sharing my seat with a cat.
Yeah,
She's
People
not
So
moving.
Stupid was number 1. This was the second track I found by him, and now think I started with People So Stupid, and then this, and my brain was blown out of my head.
Right.
Here we go.
I cannot feel guilty for that I didn't do, but I can understand the reasons why you think that I should. Yeah, I'm white, but I never put your neck in no noose, and I never burnt a cross or hit my face with a hood. You can't just label me racist, cause I'm related to people who did some terrible way back before I was alive. My parents brought me up to treat everyone as an equal. I refuse to feel ashamed cause of my pretty blue eyes. And Nazi, white supremacist, anyone who labels me as that because of my family genetics. The hatred for...
We'll stop there for a second.
Yeah, wow. Going back to, I think, our first video, we had talked about this. Like, why is it just because I look like this that I am blamed for all of the things? Like, I mean, and if you go back in history, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you go back in history, the Irish were actually treated way worse.
Oh, 100%.
Than anybody. Like, when the Irish came over, they were treated worse than stray dogs. Like, it was horrible. And that's my heritage. My heritage comes from Ireland, Scotland, England, and, you know, all that. So, like, you know, but you don't see me sitting here going, you beat my great-great-great-grandpappy and threw him out in the street, made him sleep in mud puddles and this and that and the other. No, you don't hear that.
No,
because
but in society today, everything is so based on physical appearance.
Right.
And, you know, we were talking a little bit about, you know, you had to look a certain way, but...
Right.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit. You can't help... Like, you're born with the way your color and that. You have no control over that.
Right.
And that, like we were talking about before, people that hate because of those things are taught that. It's not just you don't wake up one day.
Right. Yeah. And I get it to a point because, you know, biblically, if you're going to go that route with it, which I won't go into too far, but, you know, you pay for the sins of 7 generations back or whatever. But that doesn't mean what people are portraying it as. They're twisting it. It's, you know, inside, you have to deal with it. You're not supposed to project that onto other people. Right. You're supposed to, like, deal with that and break those generational curses.
And think about all of the people, both on both sides of this topic, that are stuck in one narrative because of all of the media and all the things. And it just never breaks the cycle.
Really, what gets me is if you go back, like, there were a lot of African Americans that were land and slave owners. Like,
well, most of that group of people were sold by their own people to get those people out of their own country.
Right, because they needed to flee. They needed better opportunities.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that that's what they got when they got here by any means. Like, and I'm not saying that it's okay to treat human beings the way that they were treated.
Of course not.
At all.
Not
so,
supporting
like,
any of
for
that
anybody
anyway.
to stumble across this page and come at us and say that's what we're preaching, that's not what we're preaching at all.
No.
I'm just saying, like, stop and take a look in the mirror and say, like, at the end of the day, peel back your skin.
We're all the same. The color of the outer skeleton is less than 2% of what makes up your full DNA. There we have
I was.
I don't want to get anyone too much more because he's going to cover it.
Right. I mean, I was actually watching a movie last night, and something that one of the characters in this movie said really like struck a chord. And he said, because he was like, "Oh, I'm colorblind. It's a disability." Blah blah blah. And they were kind of joking about it. And he was like, "Oh yeah, but if everybody was colorblind, then the world would be a much better place." And I was like, "Wow, that's really profound." And it's completely true. So, yeah. Anyway.
So we've only 34
seconds in. Let's do this.
You like the school? He's like in a classroom with all these different people.
Before I was alive, my parents brought me up to treat
the look on the other people's faces.
Ashamed because of my pretty blue eyes. And Nazi, white supremacist. Anyone who labels me as that because of my family genetics. The hatred for Caucasians is so pathetic. Go be proud that you're black, but don't hate me for some credit. I'm not the white devil, neo-Nazi, cop trying to pull the trigger. You can call me what you want, but I'd still never say the white race as a whole ain't the enemy. There's racist white people, but we're far from that collectively.
Yep.
Hold on. That, white boy. Oh, you.
And like I gotta say, like, I mean, you know where I grew up, but you know very little about it. I grew up in a very small town. Well, it's bigger now, but it's grown up. But I grew up way out rural America. I grew up on a farm. You know, we didn't have much. We were very poor. But in my school, that like my elementary school, my middle school, the high school that I went to, white people were the minority in nowhere Georgia. And it wasn't because of African Americans. It was mostly Hispanic, because the town that I'm from is the poultry capital of the world, and they find work there. There's a lot of poultry plants and this and that and the other. So like we, as Caucasians, were the minority. Like there were very few white people in my school compared to the Hispanics. You know, the ratio is very off. So, like, I know about being a minority. I know about, like, standing in lunch line and they're talking shit, you know, and, like, feeling like you're nothing. So, for anybody to spit it any other way, like, and it goes back to, this is all things that are either taught or not corrected in the home.
It's probably both.
It is.
It's both.
It's absolutely both.
And most people don't even realize they need to be correcting certain things until it's way too late.
They expect the school to do it.
Yeah, and some parents don't realize it's occurring, and then later it's already there and it's too late.
Right. And then they laugh about it, and there's nothing funny about hate.
No,
Bottom line, it doesn't matter what it's about.
No, not at all.
There's nothing funny about it.
You ready?
Yep.
But we're far from that collectively. White boy, don't say that. White boy. Oh, you so bad, white boy. You wish you were black, white boy. Dear white boy. White boy, white noise. I can't say it with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes. If a black man is sipping on some cognac sitting next to me, I don't assume that every black's favorite drink is Hennessy. I don't dislike Tanisha because her first name isn't Stephanie. Not only is that wrong, it's a waste of energy.
Exactly.
Ivory or ebony, 45 or 17, we all bleed the same. Martin Luther King or Kennedy. They're angry.
Thank
I'm
you.
reciting the facts. He's white and he raps. He stole the culture right from the blacks. Okay, he's fire, but we lit the flame. He's siphoning gas. So this corny little honky man, the whitey is whack. You letting history perpetuate the hatred within, and then you paint me with the brush you painted slave owners with. Yeah. White boy, don't.
All I keep seeing is and thinking about is the guy that I showed you on TikTok. And he's an African American, and he gets a lot of hate because he goes on the app and he's like, I'm gonna say the things that white people can't say.
Oh yeah,
because it's absolutely absurd. He was like, you guys are making you look stupid.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, it was like watching the amount of hate from the other side, all directed at white people. It's crazy.
Right, and he flips it back around. He's like, no, this is not okay. Like, and maybe we'll touch on it in one of our videos or whatever. But he's amazing. So, yeah, it's all stuff that needs to be talked about. And it needs to be talked about in a, I don't want to say a controlled environment, but it needs to be talked about where you can put down all of your preconceived notions and all of this that you've been taught. And
at the end of the day, though,
like, leave the knives at the door and let's sit down and have a conversation.
The vast majority of people, still always a small percentage of what's actually the problem.
Absolutely.
Most people,
like we had talked about
most
before,
people are like, you're not trying to say something to make somebody upset.
No, you're
not
just
trying
making
to hurt
noise.
them,
you're just
doing your thing, and it's gotten so tense and so out of control of late. Where now you have to be careful of anything you say.
Yeah,
on any topic at this point. It's
I understand
crazy.
that fully.
Right.
I understand fully.
Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
The brush you painted slave.
It gets more intense.
Yeah.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy. White boy, white noise. I can't say with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes.
I got a mother, a father, a sister, an auntie, an uncle, and a grandma that I picture when you're openly hating. And God willing, one day I'll have a kid of my own. I refuse to let you blindly hate my wife and my baby, so go ahead and hate the racists. I pray for their extinction. If you want to hate the white people, just make the distinction between the ones who want the best for everyone regardless and the ones who build the system just to smother you with hardship.
Yes.
Stop before you say it. I know what you've been thinking. How's a straight white male in 2018? You're making me the villain by demonizing my race for things I didn't do and decisions I didn't make.
Exactly.
No one that I call a friend has ever owned a slave, and neither did our dads or our dads' dads. Sakes acknowledging atrocities were wrongly committed is all that I can offer while I'm wrongly convicted. I would never hate a man for what God gave him in pigments, and I would never plot against him just because he is different. I would never judge a human for the cards he was given or call him lesser than myself because of the race that he's mixed with. White people that you hate aren't your neighbors or lawyers. They're the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bushes, and Royals. They're the people who monopolized the water and oil and injected your communities with drugs that they spoiled. Got no patience for Nazis. I think they're better off dead. They'll fight in hatred with hatred, making the hate more intense. I don't want nothing to do with either side of the fence, so don't blindly attack me for wearing braids on my head. Hate the people who believe you put yourselves in the ghetto. Hate the ones who teach their children you ain't.
In that fact alone, with the braids, do you know where dreads and braids, like, they didn't originate with the African Americans. They were Nordic.
Oh yeah, it was like a lot of
The
Norse.
Vikings and
they were war braids.
Yes,
and it was shield maidens and Vikings.
And they are white people. They are the whitest of white people. Like, so for like the guy I was talking about earlier, like
that whole verse right there.
So he hit on this because there was a girl that did a TikTok and she was like, I can't stand when white girls wear braids, blah blah blah, and he was like, hello. They've pretty much invented it. Like, what are you even talking about? It's hair. It's hair.
Yeah,
like what?
They braid it.
Right, it's a braid.
And it actually looks really great on Tom.
Yeah, I mean,
his hair looks
like,
awesome.
I started doing dreads in my hair, and I actually brushed it out because, like, I got a lot of hate for it.
But I mean, this was, like I said, the second video I saw of him, and I'm like, I start with people so stupid where I don't even want to go over the topics because, like I said, that should just be a trigger warning.
You guys can go back and watch the video.
This one though, this was the second one, and I'm just like, I was like, I didn't even know what to expect from any other tracks. I was like, wow. All right. Let's keep going.
Race that he's mixed with. White people that you hate aren't your neighbors or lawyers. They're the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bushes, and Royals. They're the people who monopolized the water and oil and injected your communities with drugs that they spoiled. Got no patience for Nazis. I think they're better off dead. They'll fight in hatred with hatred, making the hate more intense. I don't want nothing to do with either side of the fence, so don't blindly attack me for wearing braids on my head. Hate the people who believe you put yourselves in the ghetto. Hate the ones who teach their children you ain't cause they said so. Hate the ones who think you're all the same and judge you profusely cause the way that you're portrayed on our news and in movies. Being white and being racist aren't the same, man, I promise. No, it's hard to tell the difference if I'm just being honest. I deserve the chance to show you I'm not part of the problem, and you owe it to yourselves. We got so much in common.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
White boy, white, no I say I can't say with my white voice. White boys, white lies, don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad.
And see,
white
like,
boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
what kills me is like looking at me. Would you think that I had Spaniard heritage? I do.
So,
Like, and the same could be said about African American heritage. Like, you walk up to somebody, you don't know. Like,
no,
just
you have no idea.
there are people
There are
that are
some-
from Africa that are whiter than you and I.
So,
You know, like, it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has everything to do with your teachings and your upbringings
100%.
and the hate that you allow to come out of your mouth.
So when he did this video, because he did the classroom setting, so he has a video of the making of this video, and he brought all of these people in.
Had they
No,
heard?
he played the song and told them. It was like, this is what we're
Completely
doing.
reactionary.
This is what we're doing.
Natural reaction.
If you don't want to be in here, I don't want. If you're not comfortable being part of what I'm going to do, then I'm letting you know ahead of time. This is what we're doing. And apparently nobody got up and left.
Well, no, because I mean, if you take the word white and replace it with hey,
Hey, boy.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Like, if you just say hey, boy.
Well, he had
Don't
it
say
white
that.
boy because he wanted.
Well,
to,
I
he
understand
wanted to
that,
make a
but
statement.
right, but if what I'm saying is like you just take one word and change it, and it's that.
Completely different.
But it's still the same, but it takes the race out of it. I mean, I understand why he did it this way, and I understand that. But like, what my point is if the conversations that are going on and all of the hate and the race wars and all of this, if you just take the color out of it and replace it with a generalized person,
Oh yeah.
it completely changes the dynamic of that conversation. Completely. So, yeah, well done, Tom.
So
Thank
you like this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the message. I do.
So this and Dear Rappers and
I
Castles.
want to know, like,
all-
what is it on his eyeballs?
dollar signs.
Is it?
Yeah, dollar signs.
It looked like, it kind of reminds me of Captain Jack Sparrow. Like, when he
Captain
has
Jack's-
the eyeballs painted
Oh.
on his eyeballs.
I wonder if I don't think that's what he had going.
No,
No.
but
But
'cause
this
I couldn't
also
see it.
it's funny because we've reacted to Your America. Mm-hmm. And
which I love that one.
and I mean this is so far back, like he said 2018.
Right.
And like a lot of this is covered now.
Right.
It's crazy. And we're gonna watch some other videos later where you're gonna see
I want
even
to I want to have a conversation with him and be like, how bad did that hurt to get your eyeballs tattooed? Like, I need some eyeliner done. I don't want to do my makeup.
Okay. So we're gonna get out of here.
Say bye. Nova Kitty says bye.
Yeah, Nova, and she was named before I ever found Nova
Yeah,
Rockefeller.
we've
so,
had her for a long time.
but it just was pretty cool. So again, thank you for being here, Hangover Gang. Keep
All of
liking
you
and
guys.
suggesting. Keep helping me with suggestions for
Melting my brain.
for Gypsy. And yeah,
Much love.
we're gonna get out of here. We'll see you soon. See you next time. Like, subscribe, and definitely always comment, notification bell, all that fun stuff. See you later.
Bye.